Alright, so Pets Go has a brand new update. Now everybody absolutely knows how this board works. Eventually you're gonna end up opening all of these little icons, these little tiles on your board. But this is probably one of the greatest moments for absolutely everybody that plays this game to get a huge pet. And it is absolutely easy. And I mean absolutely easy. Whether you land on the tiles for the Valentine's Day presents and you actually open them, or you choose to sell them in the plaza, or get a ton of bundle of boosts and get potions from those and roll or sell any of the high tier ones, such as the Love God potion. There's absolutely every single way for everybody to get a huge pet in this game right now. And we're gonna go over some stuff because this update actually has me captivated more so than the new update on Pet Simulator 99. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want you guys to pay attention to absolutely everything that I have here currently. This is going to be very important to keep track of for myself and for absolutely everybody else. So I am going to be using all of my luck for potions and everything under the sun for this. Now, afterwards, I am going to be opening up some mail that Sean Krabby, that he sent me some stuff and I was super ecstatic. So I am going to go ahead and open those right now. And to be quite honest, I think I'm going to be giving away like a ton of huge pets in this video because of how many that I ended up getting. So if you guys like this type of content, if you guys like Pets Go, or if you plan on getting into Pets Go, make sure you guys like the video as it does help me come out with more content like this, and I'll choose 4 people to go ahead and send a huge pet out during this video. So 51,000 potions. I had to open this up and it felt like for absolutely ever. Afterwards, once I'm done doing that, I noticed that I had 12 God potions, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that aside. I'm not gonna touch those. I am gonna, however, use the board dice here, and this is gonna help me get a ton of more items inside of the board itself. Just a bit of an FYI, the reason why I decide to use these dice primarily are because if you hypothetically were to land on either one or the other Valentine's Day gift, you actually get more based on the dice. However, these are very low chances considering that these are the very last tiles that absolutely everybody was stuck on previously before. So if you're using a ton of these, you get an additional 9 extra items from the rainbow dice. Then if you're using just the gold and you can't find the rainbow one, you actually get 3. Now the nice part about this is you can find these in the plaza for sometimes somewhere near round wrap. However, people are overpricing this one in particular because of how much more items that it does end up giving you. So if you do find this for wrap, consider yourself lucky. And if you're able to buy this in bulk, absolutely do that. So with a grain of salt, the only thing I can say is you can go ahead and try to open up a ton of these little bundles of boosts, and hopefully you're able to get it that way, free to play wise. Otherwise, your next pay to win method would be through this here and through the love pack. However, I would definitely say just try to get it through the bundles if you're able to, and worst case scenario is free to play wise, you're able to land on the 2 icons here and hopefully you're able to get them. I was able to get these particularly on the board itself, so I'm not that worried on getting these unless I have to actually go out into the trade hub and buy them. So as mentioned before, you can open these up or you can go out to the plaza and sell them. However, from what I've seen so far, you do have to price that either at wrap or under wrap. I have not seen anybody pay over wrap for these little bundles, considering the fact that you can just buy them in the pack or if you're able to win them through the board. What I have seen people buy absolutely like crazy are the dice. 100%. If you have a ton of these dice and you don't really care about like absolutely anything else in the game and you are desperate for gems, absolutely sell these. Absolutely 100%. If you have the rainbow dice, you can ask for more than what the wrap is going for, especially if you have bulk. That is absolutely something that absolutely everybody's going ahead and looking for inside of the plaza right now, inside of the game. From the beginning of the update on Friday to basically now, which is Monday, I spent the last 2 days basically trying to figure out what is happening, what is going on, and eventually what happened was there was a huge, and there still is a continuation of this, deflation in inside of the game. We're talking about, this is what the Pet RNG update on Pet Simulator 99 was, but on Pets Go now. So this is what I was able to get within that 2-day period. Now keep in mind, not everybody is also going to have the same amount of huge pets during this update. A huge part of this is the game passes that I have, and obviously the more dice that you're able to roll, aka 12 dice, the better things are going to be. However, if you're selling a bunch of these items such as the dice, anything else that is beneficial in this update for pay-to-win players, you can make your gems definitely and absolutely this way to go ahead and afford like a huge elephant, which is barely 3 million gems, or a little monkey, which is a little over 3 million gems, or a little piggy, or a little shark, or a little duck. I've noticed that a lot of these pets actually deflated because of how common they ended up being during this update. Now, I was able to hatch a huge elephant, which is great, and all of the icons that I have locked are the pets that I hatched during this time. Everything else that I did hatch before that time, I went ahead and actually unlocked. So it doesn't look like I have more than I actually have. And I ended up buying this love melon because I had a feeling maybe perhaps this could go up later on once the update is over. And it did actually, because I only bought it for around 7 million gems and it went up a few million. So I have a feeling that might go up or it might go down. It depends on the update. But from what I've noticed so far, huges are absolutely cheap right now. The only problem is you have to be able to AFK this event enough for you to actually get things. What I do plan on doing is getting a ton of these. Now, whether I go out into the trade plaza, because 270,000 a piece for these aren't that bad actually. I am gonna save this for a possibility of a part 2 of a new Valentine's Day extension, meaning this Friday we could get a part 2 update, which allows us to get more Valentine's Day presents and more Valentine huges, and I'm quite possibly gonna save these to see what ends up happening. Worst case scenario is nothing comes out as far as new huges go, and to be honest, the worst case is just me having a bunch of these and I just roll them all. But however, I am going to be saving these just because you just never know. And the same goes with the bundles of boosts. Now, this only applies to just whatever is inside of this. Whatever you get inside of this is probably going to stay the same, and even if it doesn't, I'm talking about saving this just in case if the update ends next week with a new update, and let's say these actually change into something else. You just never know, because this used to be bundles of potions, and now all of a sudden they're bundles of boosts. So I would find this to be beneficial if maybe perhaps if I were to save like 20,000 again, let's say, and it were to change to something else entirely different. Now this is speculation. This doesn't mean that everybody else needs to follow exactly what I'm doing, but this is just a pure example. Probably wondering too to yourself is it a good time to actually invest in huges? Absolutely. Dude, when is the next time you're going to see huge pets such as a pig or an elephant or a monkey or anything else that is considered to be a low tier huge to be under 4 million gems? Granted, it might take a little time for these to actually go back in price basically, and hopefully another event that doesn't actually make them go down even more so. But when is the next time that you're gonna see an actual god potion inside of the game right now under 3 million gems? Yes, we're talking about actual physical god potions. We're not talking about the Valentine's Day ones. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about actual god potions. Now, at the very beginning of this update, you were able to get actual god potions from the bundles of potions. However, they actually fixed it. I had a feeling maybe perhaps they were not allowed to be in there, and I had a huge feeling. Hence the video why I said absolutely everybody open up your bundles of potions, because they're not supposed to be in there. I felt like having those inside of the bundles were not actually supposed to be in there. We're talking about these. Now, this was probably in the first 20 minutes of the update being out. After that, a forced update was made and fixes were done. So absolutely everybody that was opening a ton of these were not able to get them anymore. And the chances and absolutely everything else in between, the reduction of the Valentine's Day ones were actually made as well. So you do have to open up thousands of these to basically get something good out of it. But either way, that's absolutely fine, because you could go out into the plaza and actually buy them for relatively cheap, and we'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so we're finally here. Last last night, this was probably going under a little under 2 million gems, but as you can tell, you can buy these in literal bulk for 2 million gems a piece. But I think it's a really good idea for players out there that are able to hatch huges just from this alone. If you have a lot of dice and if you have the huge hunter, this is a really good time to go ahead and invest in a bunch of these, primarily because of the fact that it's only 2 million gems. Granted, yes, it is a bit of a risk to actually buy this, and hopefully you're able to get something good out of it, like a Kitsune or a Cosmic Axolotl, a dragon, anything that goes beyond what the normal huges are, which are the low tier ones, as I would like to call them. My primary goal is to use them to basically try to get the higher tier ones, and quite possibly, if you're able to, the Titanic. Obviously, I always advocate for absolutely everybody to level up your mastery, and this includes Pet Simulator 99. Once you reach level 80, you get a bonus on top of your dice for the Titanic, and obviously when you get the skill cape, guess what you also get? You get 2 times luck when you're getting the Titanic itself. So anything that actually helps me out get this a little bit more faster, the better. Lastly, let's go ahead and talk about one more thing, because I know this is probably something that everybody probably questions. Should you open these or should you sell them? Now, I have gone through so many of these, and I'm talking about thousands of them. I think the last time that I opened up a good amount was probably around 15,000. And ironically, I was not able to get a huge pet from this. I actually had more luck getting a huge through the actual love presents, the little Valentine's one, versus the actual egg itself. Now, here is the thing, okay? You can choose to open these. You can choose to save them. Obviously, over time, when the event is done and over with, these might go up in value. However, I feel like maybe perhaps they're not going to go surpass what the magma eggs are, and they're relatively hard to get something out of them. Now remember, this is all RNG at the very end of the day, so it completely depends on who is opening them, right? I could open up one egg and get extremely lucky and get a huge pet or a secret pet out of it, or I might open up all 12,000 of these and get absolutely nothing. So this is going to be up in the air as a discretional thing what you guys should do with them. However, I am going to be saving them just to see what happens after the update and see if I want to go ahead and save them and open them later on, or if I want to go ahead and sell them as a bulk. However, I do notice over time though that these are a little bit more difficult to sell. Think of this as gift bags on Pet Simulator 99. That's what I think of them. They remind me of gift bags. I usually hate holding onto things such as this just because of how difficult they end up being selling. And over time, with how low things end up getting, it's probably just better to buy a huge pet versus like actually bulking up on a ton of these, and hopefully maybe you might have a chance of getting this. Though again, speaking in experience when it comes to opening stuff, I guess the fun comes out of opening up like 12,000 of these, for example, and maybe perhaps you might get lucky versus actually just going out into the plaza and buying it. That's the only difference that I see in between the two. But other than that, I just go out and buy the huge pet if that's the case. Of course, I'll have some other different videos on Pets Go during the week, and as always, again, if you do enjoy these types of videos, make sure you like it, as it does help me come out with more content like this for you guys, and yada yada yada, and yada yada yada. And until then, I will see you guys all in the next video, and remember, leave your Roblox username, as I will be picking 4 people out in this video to send a huge pet to. Okay, bye.